that he was already in a relationship. So since we're both single now, I'm wondering, would that be smart to give it a try or just don't even get into that?
Hold on, my brain is trying to compute what was being said. Who's in and out of jail? That person was the person
Was
you were with
the ex
before.
that I recently just been
Left.
done with. So after I found out he was in a relationship, the first guy, then I got with the new guy. But that guy, he just stayed in and out of jail and I just couldn't stand it. So I broke up with him in February.
Hold on. Okay. Hold on. My brain is. I don't know why my brain can't hear it. I'm hearing you, but I'm not hearing you. So the guy that you were with previously, before you broke up in February, he was one that was in and out of jail. But the other guy,
Good
you've
guy.
known him
Yeah, I've known him for like 5 years.
5 years. Okay. Okay. So you've known him for 5 years, and he's what, come back now?
Yeah, like he just like at first when me and him were talking, I got disappointed because I found out, like through the grapevine where the girlfriend gets a hold of me, like, hey, like he's talking to me. Well, he never told me that he's in a relationship, didn't know much about you. The fact that he comes home from work and he's not with you, but he comes to see me for these past 2 months. Well, I thought that he was single. So I just kind of left it as what it was. There was no argument or nothing between me and the first guy's, girlfriend, the one that, I said that he was in a relationship and that kind of disappointed me. And then I moved on and went to the new ex, the one that went to
Hmm.
jail. So that's why I was saying, like, now that we're both single, me and the first guy, should I give this a chance?
Okay. Okay. So how? What's his character like? This new guy. How,
So,
not the new guy, but the guy's 5 years. What's his character like?
like, he used to be in the military, but he's retired now for being in his 30s. He's a hard worker. Like, every day, if you wanted to see if he was at his job, you're probably going to see him, because he's a manager. So he's always there, helping out everybody. He's very charismatic. Good with talking, but he's cool, calm, collected. He's not the type that just wants to be seen or nothing, but when he's got to get in the line of work to help people out or whatever, he'll do it. And even when we were just friends, he's definitely that type of guy that like will help out. Generous.
Okay.
We can talk about anything. We're open with each other about anything, like stuff that we don't even tell anybody else.
Hmm. Question: Can you trust him? Can you trust him after what's happened last time? Truly,
I know,
hundred
and
percent.
that's where I'm at right now. I feel like I can give a person a chance, a benefit of the doubt. Like if it doesn't turn out good, then of course we all have to, keep moving, keep trucking. But the
Can
whole
you trust him
aspect
one hundred
of that
percent?
he lied from the
Can
beginning,
you
it's like
trust him 100% right now, Aquarius? Right now, can you trust him 100%?
I can,
You can trust him 100%. That if
yeah,
he comes to you now, that he's not going to be no relationship, no other woman.
yes, because I'm just a free person like that. I'll give the benefit of the doubt. I'll try.
Why would you give the benefit of the doubt?
I'm just saying I will try to see, I will give the 100%, like that I trust you. But if you show me something different, then that's where things change.
Okay, so help me out. Just quick, let's leave that guy for a little bit. Just I need to understand something. This gentleman beforehand that you broke up in February with, he was in and out of jail. Was he in and out of jail before you started dating, or is this new?
It was all new because it all dealt with me. I had to get protection orders against him. So he had violation of protection orders from stalking, trying to control, just hopping by my house, messing with my locks, like crazy stuff. And then he also had a drinking problem, so he got a DUI.
Okay, and this all happened in the space of the relationship.
Yes, in the middle of the relationship, it happened. So we did 3 years together. This all happened like in the 2 year going into the 3 year part. And there was a guilty conscience with the past ex as well because his baby mother was in the picture. And he was a little bit older than me. I'm 37. He was 46.
Okay.
So he
Okay.
had past baggage that came back in the middle of our relationship and couldn't make up his mind. And just, I don't know, the guilt, I guess, of him doing stuff behind my back, like he would project that back at me.
Mm. Okay, so just give me a bit of a background here. Okay, so that gentleman obviously broke up with February, been in for 3 years. Um, uh, Relationships before this, has there been a similar pattern to this relationship here?
Not where I have to get a protection order or anything, but there has been where guys have had their past baby mothers, in the picture. So
Mm-hmm.
that's always been something where I have to like fight with the other woman, not physically fighting, but just like, hey, why are you hitting up his phone at this time of the night? We're sleeping.
Mm.
Or, just interference in that type of way. Or
Boundaries.
they might send a picture of, I don't know, a nude picture just out of nowhere. Like, what is this? So,
Mm. Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you trust your judgment for picking the right man?
I think now I would be better because I know I can just opt out and get out quickly if it's not the right choice. How about that? So I'm gonna say I'm like a half and halfer. Like I can't say that I'm perfect because it's hard
I
to
understand.
read people to me. Like especially how people are nowadays of having to put up a facade, a mask. But I would say that if it doesn't seem right off of the past relationships and lessons and things that I know that I've learned and the healing that I've went through, then I know I can jump out quicker than what I did in the past of trying to hold loyalty down and I'm gonna stick through thick and thin. I'm not doing that no more. Like, but
Okay.
if I see that a person is actually putting in effort, and there might be a couple of mistakes that come in, and we're not talking about he cheated, I'm gonna give him a chance back. No, not that type of mistake, but just let's say it was a communication error or something. I'm not just gonna break up
Mm.
off of that though. So
Okay. 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 So you okay? So okay. So obviously, without going too deep, because obviously I would need the whole history background. Okay. And maybe you might have to book a coaching course for that one. Um, okay. So here's my thing. From what I've heard, and I'm gonna give my limited information I've heard, right? And I'm gonna go with my intuition a little bit here. Sis, don't spin the block because what I'm hearing, number one, I'm not even concerned about him. I'm concerned about you because what I'm hearing, I'm not sure if the judgment is on point. So if you're telling me the story about this guy that's who first foremost was doing what he was doing beforehand has come back now, I'm if I'm just on a limited information, of course, if we have more time to talk, maybe I would get more understanding. But the limited thing that I've heard, I'm a little bit scared because I feel like, sis, I might need you to sit on the bench
mhm.
and heal because these men, they're gonna always be those type of men. But for you to be able to trust your judgment 100%, it requires you also to see absolutely perfectly well. And I'm not sure, just on based on what I'm hearing, if the eyesight is perfectly well. But that's on my limited information.
I understand. But
So I
so
wouldn't
do you
advise
think
you.
that anybody can be 100% sure of people? And look at people who are like in their 50s, 60s who got married to a guy, let's say 30 years ago, and they're going through a divorce right now. Like, did they ever
Absolutely.
see that coming up?
Listen, there are going to be a lot of relationships where people don't see something coming, which is unfortunately life, right? But you want to put yourself in the best position possible. You want to put yourself in the best position possible. I mean, one question I haven't even asked you is: have you even taken time to really de like to decompress after the situation with the last ex-boyfriend? I know it's February and we're in August, and it's like 6 months. I mean, but have you decompressed? Have you been able to process what's actually happened? Guy's gone to jail. Man's also been stalking you, doing what X, Y, and Z. Have you had time to actually process what has just happened? Your life was in danger.
Well, I've been
Like,
doing counseling and I've been
okay,
doing PTSD, like trauma breakdown. It's a book that I've been going through for the past like 5 months now, I would say,
okay,
like 5, 6 months. So there has been like when we first started out for the first 3 months, I mean, it was a little jarring because I had to go all the way back to my childhood uh,
mm,
traumas, and then I had to go through what I went through in college, and then now we finally are on the lessons of the relationship that's current and the type of guys you don't want to look for later on in the future because the pattern is set because of what I went through my childhood, basically. So, I mean, I feel like with already doing classes from a year, 2 years ago with PTSD from traumatic stuff that happened within the family, whatever, that with me having a better knowledge and actually putting in the work and actually doing, not exactly, I'm not a meditator per se. I do get in my quiet space and I do my prayers to God. So I'm not trying to go on this other realm or nothing. I'm just literally putting out there, how I really feel, what I need to work on for the week, how I'm not going to stress. I'm going to be in my present moment and work on what's here right now. As long as I'm truthful to myself, everything around me should be where it's truth coming. You know what I mean? Like it's there in my face. You know what I mean? Because I didn't give any other type of, I don't know, I didn't give any other type of ill intention. So I feel like that ill intention shouldn't be brought back. And that's just how I'm just going to keep it for positive affirmations of how I see things. But that's why I said I trust myself fully of how things are going forward. And when it comes to relationships, no, I'm not the person that goes out. I'm literally go to work. I'm a homebody. I take care of my children. And you know what I mean? Like back at it again. Weekends, yeah, I might take them. We go out. We'll go to the trail. We'll go to the lake. We'll go have some fun. But I'm more of a homebody. I don't go out. I don't just be out looking for new, who's the next guy to get with or something. It was just a question because, like I said, I don't know if I'm moving too fast, but from what you're saying to me is maybe take time to just look into everything before making this even something that could even be a relationship. It's okay to have a friendship. So,
And
but
my
don't
last
rush
question
it.
is,
Yeah.
my last question is, okay, are you somebody who gets into relationships a lot? So is there
Nope.
much time that you have being single?
Yes. So I would say from this past relationship with the ex who was, abusive, crazy, whatever. Then before that, I was in more long term, like 5 years, 3 years, 7 years. That was back like high school time. But so I don't really count that because it was kind of like a puppy love. That wasn't, we both weren't mature. But yeah, usually long relationships. And then after that, I was single on my own because I was running track, for college or busy, like working power plants. I'm working 12-hour shifts 6 days a week. I was doing decontamination. So I was traveling. So I was making money. And then, I mean, in between time, even when I had my kids, like I was single and I went like a whole 3, 4 years until I started dating with what my kids' ages are. And then this is what has happened now. So,
So, I think my final thing just to say is that I think personally, just by what you told me, I'd say continue on the journey that you're on. I think you're making great progress, probably as well. And I would say that only you really know. But I'll give this advice as a general precaution. Don't sabotage the great healing you're doing. If you're doing great healing, focus on the healing. You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
sometimes we're on a journey of healing and people get sent our way to see if we're really learning and we're really actually learning. So I'm not saying that he is that person who's sent to kind of test it. I'm just saying that be aware of that people get sent our way sometimes to see are we really learning along this journey. And I don't want you to sabotage and exit early the process getting into a relationship, because what relationships do is they add more pressure to those wounds. So if we're not yet ready as such to step into high pressured scenarios, we might want to just stay where we are and just focus on our healing and focus on ourselves and building ourselves up, so that when you now look out into the world, you're not having to think, am I making the right choice? You can just trust it. A bit like when you get injured. I've got ACL, did my knee. Sometimes when I step, I'm not 100% sure because I know it can potentially might give way. When you're fully
Uh-huh.
healed, though, you don't think about that because you know that you're fully healed. When I say fully healed, no one's ever fully healed. But what I mean is you get to a place where you're confident in your healing, that now you can actually vet without it being an issue. You have good boundaries, you have good standards, you're able to assert yourself and say what you want, say what you like, what you don't like. You're able to let the person know, this is what I see for my future, and whether somebody actually fits into that narrative as well. So that'll be my last
Right.
thing for you. That's what I'd say.
Yeah. So like I said, I feel that I do better single because I have came a long way. Like during COVID, I graduated. Um, I have furthered my career with the state, and so I work for the Department of Health and Human Services. I do all the death certificates, and the autopsy reports and stuff. I'll be moving myself on up and trying to, I'm trying to change states, go to Texas, go down by San Antonio. So I do have big things that I'm trying to do, but I guess the biggest thing is it's like I got everything else going on, a house, the car, the blah blah blah. Like it'd be nice just to go back to date, but if I gotta
Mm.
wait, then I have no problem waiting. So
That's okay. That's okay. And question as well: did that lie that he told about his girlfriend at the time? Did he explain why he lied?
he acts like they were just separated at the time, so he felt like she was out doing endeavors. He was going to go out and do an endeavor.
And so he brought you into his lie, in a sense.
Yeah. So that's why I was disappointed because she was the one who called me up, but she didn't come hostile or rude or nothing. She's just
Oh,
kind
she
of like,
called you up. The girl called you up
yeah,
and says
she
like,
called me up because she seen my phone number come up continuously on his phone, where it was like a phone number he called all the time. She saw the text messages on Messenger, which was nothing like sexual or nothing, but just the hey baby, the stuff like that. Yeah.
"Oh, sis, get the running, get the running,
I,
get the running. I
yeah.
need you to do what you do best, which is track, and I need you to run. Okay, put them
Okay.
spikes on and get
Yeah.
the running. Yeah,
Right.
leave them in the dust. Okay,
Yep.
thank you
All
very
right.
much.